Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Micro Podcast on Podcasting. I'm Christine Blosdale, and today we're going to be talking about how you can establish yourself as an expert in your podcast so that you can get booked on other podcast shows to promote your podcast. Now, I'm not saying that you want to use your podcast show as an infomercial or infotainment necessarily, but you can use your podcast as a mechanism to get people to know about you and to create that credibility that you need if you want to get more clients, if you want to get speaking gigs, if you want to have people read your blogs or get your books. This is a great way to establish yourself as an expert through your podcast. Now, the idea here is not to just sell yourself to somebody who's listening to your show, but it's actually so that you can share your information, your wisdom, your expertise in your podcast show, whatever it is. If you're a plumber, if you're a tax advisor, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you want to be able to give more education, more information to your audience so that they can improve their lives in one way or the other. Once you do this and you establish yourself as somebody that knows what they're talking about, chances are people are going to be referring to you and asking for your help and assistance when they're seeking those answers that someone like you can hopefully shine a light on. In addition to gently dropping tips about what you do and how wonderfully expert you are in your field, you also want to make sure that at the end of your podcast show, you have a call to action. Say, if you want more information about my services, or if you'd like to book a complimentary strategy session, all you got to do is go to blank.com and set up a session with me, and I'd be happy to help you. People love free stuff, and you want to make sure that you don't overextend yourself, but you can offer a free ebook or a free consultation, and that's a great way to get people to your website and also to get a potential new client. You can also use your podcast to promote a book that you have just recently published. If you are a bestseller, of course, mention that. On many of my longer format podcasts, I actually do mention that I am an international #1 Amazon bestselling author of your amazing itty bitty podcast book, The Top 15 Reasons Why You Need to Tap into the Power and Profits of Podcasting. And I also make sure that I drop that URL, ittybittypodcastbook.com. That's ittybittypodcastbook.com. Make sure you give that website out as much as you can so that people can find out more about you or to buy your book. Another helpful tip is that in the title of your podcast, if possible, you want to include what it is that you do in that title so it's not too obscure. You don't want to have an obscure name that nobody knows what the heck you're talking about. So you could call it maybe something like Ask the VW Expert or Ask the Plant Expert, something like that. So people know kind of what your show is about, but they also know that you're an expert in that field. One thing that I want to warn you, and I want you to try and avoid, you don't want to try to impress people too much with your degrees and your awards and things like that. Get them to your website and have that information on your website. But don't fill up the time of your podcast telling people how great you are. Send them to a page so that they can see how other people think how great you are. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, that's all we have time for in today's micro podcast on podcasting. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this if you want to make sure you never miss an episode. And if you want more information about this podcast, you can go to themicropodcast.club. That's themicropodcast.club, and you can see all the past episodes we have, and there's information on how you can subscribe to this show. Until next time, happy podcasting.